The co-hosts give us a grandstand finish to a gripping group stage for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024. West Indies smashed their way to the highest total of the tournament so far and beat Afghanistan comprehensively in St. Lucia to finish with 4 wins out of 4 in Group D. We look back on match number 40 on Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout, powered by Dish TV Watch Show, with Samuel Badri giving us company. Samuel, thank you so much for your time. A game that didn't have a lot riding on it, but it was a chance to issue a statement, and boy, have West Indies issued some statement going into the Super 8s.
Yeah, there was still lots riding on it, as you mentioned. Both these teams already qualified for the Super 8, and so they wanted to maintain an unblemished record. West Indies put on a clinical display. It was really a comprehensive win for them, and that is exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to send a statement not only to Afghanistan, but the other teams looking on in that Super 8 group. So it was as good a win as they could have gotten. I think their confidence have been boosted, and they're looking like a very menacing team right now.
Yeah, and let's start with the batting, because that had been the one area where most of the voices we've had on our shows were hoping to see the best of West Indies come out, and they really unleashed it, starting with Nicholas Pooran, who's played the kind of knock that puts West Indies in a great place going into the Super 8s.
Yeah, career best from Nicholas Pooran. The manner in which he dominated and decimated that Afghanistan bowling attack. That's the class that we know of Nicholas Pooran. He is an outstanding player, a global superstar. And West Indies have always sort of expected this type of performance from him. Career best knock. He's gone past 2,000 international T20 runs for the West Indies, the highest score ever. Most sixes. He's gone past Chris Gayle in that regard as well. And yeah, he fell agonizingly short of what would have been a maiden T20 international 100, but it was a knock that really outclassed Afghanistan and showed West Indies their power and how brutal they can be.
Yeah, and what makes Pooran's knock and West Indies' batting effort all that more appreciable is that Afghanistan were a side who hadn't even conceded 100 once in their 3 previous outings, including that dominant display against New Zealand. West Indies got there in just about the power play.
Yeah, 58, 75, and 95. That's what they restricted the oppositions for in the previous game. 92 for 1, the highest power play score in men's T20 World Cup is what West Indies registered. That was very impressive. Johnson Charles, there were some question marks about him in the lead into this game as to whether or not he should play, but he really stamped his authority and he showed what he is capable of. He's playing at home, of course, hailing from St. Lucia, so he understands those conditions really well. But him and Nicholas Pooran, that 4 over 36 runs they took off Omar Zai, and that really set the tone for what was to come for the rest of that innings. It was blistering stuff from the West Indies.
Will this concern Afghanistan to any extent, or is there also the factor that they themselves look like they were trying a few different bowling combinations and not necessarily doing what they would do in most games?
Rashid Khan said at the end when Ian Bishop asked him that very question, he said that it didn't really bother them. But that is easier said than done as a bowler, especially when you take that type of battering. It's at the front of your mind and your confidence is dented. In as much as we say that this game was just of statistical value of anything else, but as a bowler, I can tell you when you take a bit of a beating, it stays with you for a few days. So psychologically, it will have an effect of that on them, but they're through to the Super 8s. They need to put that behind them now. They have the main job ahead of them, and that's what they should be focusing on.
And then making that West Indian performance even better was a dominant display with the ball. The spinners continue to make inroads regularly. Akil Hussain and Gudakesh Moti have been standing tall. But Obed McCoy getting the first game, making quite the impression and perhaps giving a bit of a selection headache going into the Super 8s.
Yeah, Rahman Powell said it at the end as well. He was concerned on the field when he saw Obed McCoy doing so well. 3 wickets for 14 runs in his first outing. Romario Shepherd, remember, was left out of this game for personal reasons. He had to go back to Guyana for the birth of his child. So it provided an opportunity inadvertently to Obed McCoy. And he showed what he was capable of. And it will be a difficult decision now in my mind as to West Indies and their playing 11 in the next game. But really good stuff, exceptional from Obed McCoy. That's what you want as a player. You're sitting on the sidelines. You're waiting on your opportunity. And remember, he wasn't selected in the squad initially. He was a replacement player when Jason Holder got injured. So he came in, he grabbed the opportunity with both hands, and now it's over to the selectors and the captain and the coach as to whether or not he'll play in the next match.
We saw Shea Hope given a game as well in place of Roston Chase. He's made some runs too. Do you expect him to feature?
Yeah, it's really tough when I look at that West Indian playing 11 to sort of nail down what they're going to do. As I mentioned, I think that Obed McCoy, because of his left-handedness, you'd want him to play. And then also Roston Chase with his off-spin and a couple of left-handers in that England team, you might want that extra bowling option. So for me, I would personally keep Obed McCoy in the playing 11 because I really want someone who is down there to give me 4 solid overs, and potentially wicket-taking overs. Romario Shepherd, I know he's an all-rounder and he can give a lot with the bat, but I really don't see him doing too much with the bat if the other guy is fired. Today, for instance, Andrew Russell only faced about 3 deliveries. Sherford Rutherford faced only a couple of deliveries. So someone like Romario Shepherd, if he's down there, might be wasted. So I would be tempted to go with the specialist bowler in Obed McCoy, and I want to have an off-spinning option for the likes of Moeen Ali and Sam Curran if they play those left-handed.
All right, then we leave it there. Samuel Badri will preview West Indies' Super 8 opener for us as well. For the moment, group stage done and dusted. West Indies flex their muscle before making their way to the Super 8. Thank you so much, Samuel Badri, for your time. That does it on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout, powered by Dish TV Watcher.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक OTT के दाम पे सारे OTT शान से।
Watch